Hi, I'm Kate and I'm the International Recruitment Manager for London Wellness Academy, who recruit and train staff to go and work on board the cruise ships. Just to give you a quick background about myself, I've worked now for the company for the last 8 years, 4.5 of those actually on board the cruise ships myself. I started with the company at the age of 19 after doing level 2 hair and beauty combined and then level 3 hairdressing at college in Birmingham, where I'm from. And then I actually went and worked in a local hairdressing salon for about 8 months after finishing college, where I then got pretty bored of doing the same people's hair week in, week out. That's when I decided to come and work on board the cruise ships. And I went on board my first ship as a hairdresser. My second contract, I was actually on the largest ship at sea at the time, whereas I was an assistant manager and a receptionist. And then in between that contract and my next, I actually went over to Miami, where I did a 2-week management course learning all the HR and nitty-gritty business things I needed to know. And then my third, fourth and fifth contract, I was spa manager on board. My first team being a small team of 12 and then progressing to what I would say is a medium-sized team on the cruise ships of about 27 staff members, pretty much running a multi-million-dollar company at sea. I came home just over 3 years ago now, decided I needed a bit of responsibility in my life because at 19, I only left with a phone bill coming out of my account. So, now I've done all the grown-up things of buying a house, getting a dog, and now I'm actually a recruitment manager for the company, where I then go to colleges and academies like yourselves to let you know of the opportunities with working for the company. Also, I get to hold interviews, so to give people like yourselves the opportunity to come and work for us and help you with all the paperwork side of things before actually attending the academy. Now, enough about myself. What we'll do is we'll get going with the presentation and hopefully give you some more information about actually working on board the cruise ships. So just to give you a brief history about our company, we started with a gentleman called Herman Steiner, and him and his wife had a salon in London with his most famous client being the Queen of England. And from there, they opened up numerous salons throughout the UK. And eventually in 1967, when the Queen Mary cruise ship was being opened, the company were asked if they'd like to open up the spa on board the ship, which they did, and the company's grown and grown from there. As it says, One Spa World is the largest spa company at sea today. Now, these are just a few of the cruise lines that we do work with. One of those cruise lines, Royal Caribbean, you may have heard of before. They have some of the largest cruise ships in the world within their fleet. One of those can actually hold even up to 6,700 passengers and 2,500 crew members and have around 45 staff within the spa. Now, if you compare that to being at home, imagine you're going to open up your own spa or your own salon. You've got to find the space, rent it out, buy your equipment, buy your products, and then also start to build up your clientele. As you know, most of the time you walk out of one spa or salon, 2 minutes down the road there's another one, 2 minutes the other way there's another one, a lot of mobile hairdressers, a lot of mobile beauticians. There's a lot of competition out there for you to be consistently creating, making revenue and keeping that revenue consistent or increasing. Whereas on board a cruise ship, you step on board, the spa's there, the salon is there, your products, your equipment, and that clientele could be changing every 7 days. So you go through your first cruise, that first 7 days, those 6,000 plus passengers leave, a whole new batch of 6,000 plus people come on board, and you can tweak and change certain aspects of your business and your promotion to improve that cruise to the next one, and then again for the next. So yes, it's a very fast-paced business on board, but it is great because you can constantly change things to improve it and make it better for yourself. Some of the things you can do on a Royal Caribbean ship, you've got rock climbing walls, surf machines, ice skating rinks, basketball courts. There's also a robotic bar, so if you fancy a drink at the end of the day, go and put your drinks order in the iPad, the robot will appear, makes it shakes it and serves a drink in front of you. So it's really nice that you get to go and enjoy that guest lifestyle on board their ships as well. Another big cruise line on the board that you might be aware of is Disney. If you can work for us and we decide to put you onto a Disney cruise ship, we're going to actually send you to one of the theme parks first to get Disneyfied. So you spend a day at the Disney University, get your Disney diploma, 2 days around the theme parks to really immerse yourself into that Disney lifestyle before boarding your ship. Also on the board, you've got your Silver Seas. Now these ships are on the polar opposite of those big commercial cruise lines. These ships are a lot smaller. You're looking at them holding anything from 800 to 1,800 passengers and crew members on board at once. But also these guests are expecting a much different experience on board because they're spending lots more money. They've got 24-hour butlers on call. The restaurant staff, the bar staff know them by name. So if they're expecting that standard across the rest of the ship, we also need to provide that to them in the spa as well. Now, from those 3 cruise lines, can you all see how they attract very different type of clientele? And all of you will be very different with your personalities, how you interact with each other, your teachers, if you're already working, how you are with your manager, colleagues, and clients that you're coming into contact with every day. And this is something that we look at when you're at the academy as to where you're going to be best suited to when you're on the ship. So this is something we really do take note of when you're at the academy. So is this you? So there's two ways that I like to look at working for the company, whether you're looking for an experience or whether you are looking for a career. We work on a contract basis. Every contract is 9 months long. So you sign your contract, you're on your ship, and once your 9 months is complete, we then fly you back home. And then it's then your decision whether you go, okay, I'm so glad I've done it. It was a great experience, but I'm going to stay back at home now and try something else. Or you have a bit of a mini holiday, mini vacation at home, get assigned another contract and go out to another ship. I've got friends that have done one contract, myself that has done 5, and I have other friends that are out there on ships on their 18th, 19th contract. So you really can have it as that 1 or 2 contract experience or progress it into something else. If you did decide to continue with the company just as I did, you can also go into spa management, and that is because we don't hire managers straight into that management position because the business is so very different to what it is on land. So we only progress and promote our own staff into that role. And from there, you have land-based roles from trainers, recruitment managers, sales and revenue managers to director of operations. So there is a big possibility of that career progression as well within the company. So why should I work on a cruise ship? So the main reason that I decided to go and work on board cruise ships was for the travel. If I give you a quick list of where I got to travel over the 4.5 years that I worked on board, it does give you a bit of an idea where you might get to go. So I've personally sailed around Australia, New Zealand, a little bit of Asia, Med, Europe, British Isles, Iceland, Quebec, Canada, New England, New York, Miami, the Caribbean islands, Mexican Riviera, Cartagena, Panama, Aruba, San Diego, San Francisco, up to Canada, up over to Alaska, and then I have also been around the Hawaii and French Polynesian islands a couple of times, so Moorea, Papeete, Tahiti, Honolulu, and a couple more islands down there as well. Now, imagine though if I hadn't have actually come and worked on board cruise ships, and instead at 19 said to my mom, I'm going to go and travel the world for the next 5 years. I'll see you later. My mom for sure would have told me, Kate, don't be so stupid. You'll call me after the first flight saying you've run out of money. Because it's true, at 19, working in a local hairdressing salon, I wasn't exactly putting money into my savings every month. It was more like, Mum, can I borrow £20 before payday? Thank you. And that takes me on to the second reason as to why you might want to work on board a cruise ship, which is the money. Now, I'm sure you're all aware of how it works at home. We get paid at the end of every month. Woo, my favourite day again. And national insurance comes off, tax comes off, house bills, phone bills, food bills if you're anything like me. And then we're off out this weekend. We need a new outfit. Oh, those shoes look good with the outfit. Oh, and I'll buy that bag because I'll just use it every single day and it'll go with everything that I wear. And then we've got 30 quid left in the bank for the rest of the month. It's hard to save that nice chunk of money for the future, whether it's to buy a car, put a house, deposit on a house, whether you want to open up your own business, whatever your future goals or aspirations are, to save that nice chunk of money while working at home, it's going to take quite a while and also a lot of the cut down on spending and socializing side of things. Whereas on board a cruise ship, payday every other week, woo, and there's your paycheck. No national insurance comes off, no tax comes off, your accommodation's paid for, your meals on board are paid for. The only bill you have on board is your crew bar bill and also any other expenses that you might have while you're outside in the port. But obviously you know how much money you want to spend while you're out there and the potential of money that you can earn, you'll still have a nice chunk of money that you can put into your account those every 2 weeks, which will then increase over the 9 months and even more so if you decided to do more than one contract with us as well. And the third reason I like to mention is experience. We do take you straight out of college once you've finished your qualifications, and whether you come to us straight away, it's either giving you that kickstart into your career or maybe you're taking you that next step up in your career if you do come and see us in a few years' time. And also if you do decide to go to future employers after working with the company, you know, whether it is 1 or 5 contracts later, they know that you're hardworking, passionate, target-driven, revenue-driven, business-minded, and also that you've got the experience to work with international colleagues and clients as well. So what are we looking for? So you do need to be qualified in your profession, professional appearance. So remember you're working in 5-star, 6-star spas, so at all times looking nice and respectable. And also you've got no medical restrictions. Every single crew member must complete a Norwegian medical test. And this is information you can find out about on our website as well. Also on the list is my favourite one, which is hard working attitude. It is hard work on board a cruise ship. One reason it's hard work, it's long hours, and a typical day you're looking at working 7:30 in the morning till 9:30 in the evening. Now, I like to compare this to being at home. Now, imagine you're working out in the industry and you're working a regular 9 to 5 job at home. You've still got to get up at 6:37 in the morning, go downstairs, make your breakfast, make your lunch for the day, jump in the shower, and if you're anything like me, go downstairs to the ironing pile because that's pretty much where my whole wardrobe is. Throw on your clothes, hair and makeup, and out the door. Jump in the car, stuck in traffic, stop for petrol, and get to work for 9 o'clock. You then go through the day, finish at 5, 6 o'clock, back in the car, back in the traffic, realise you've got nothing in for dinner, spend £50 at the supermarket on absolutely nothing. And then you get home, you've got to walk the dog, do the cooking, do the cleaning, do the laundry, and finally sit down at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. It's still a long day. You've got all your expenses of travel, accommodation and food, and you're probably on a wage with a little bit of commission added on top of that as well. Whereas on board a cruise ship, jump up in the morning, go to the bathroom in your cabin, go to the front door of the cabin and open the door and your uniform's hanging there. That's because last night when you finish work, dirty uniform off, pop it outside the door, stateroom steward comes along, picks it up, washes it, dries it and irons it and hands it back on the door for 6 a.m. So on, hair, makeup and out the door. Now on most of the ships, there's a long corridor that runs down the bottom middle of the ship. It's the crew corridor, normally called the M1, like the motorway, super busy. And you'll go down there and get to what we call the crew mess, so a big buffet area for the crew. Choose what you want to eat it, dirty plate on the side, don't need to wash it up. Back down the M1 to the elevator, go to deck 5, 8, 12, 15, 18, and you're at the spa. You go through the morning, you have a 1 hour lunch, 1 hour dinner, and when you get back down to your cabin at 9:30, your stateroom steward's been in, they've changed the bed sheets, hoovered the floor, cleaned the sides, changed your towels, and even done all your laundry for you if you want them to. And it's not that we're being lazy, even though it's amazing. It's more so that the cruise line is assisting you to work those longer hours. So at 9:30, you're not thinking, I need to find the washing machine and an hour to wash, an hour to dry, then I've got to iron it, then I've got to find the sheets. It's so at 9:30, that's your own time. That's your time to have an early night, go to the gym, go to the guest area, go to crew area, whatever you want to do, okay? Also, this is a commission-based job. So the more services you do, the more money you make. Therefore, the more hours, the more guests, and the more money in your pocket at the end of each and every day. Now, next on the list is confident speaker. I personally don't look for the most confident speaker when I'm interviewing, just because I remember what I was like at 19 and I absolutely hated doing public speaking. But it's more so just to make you aware that this is something that you're going to have to do on board. We do lots of events, presentations, seminars to let the guests know on board exactly what we have to offer. So if you're a beauty therapist, you might do something called the Ladies Pamper Party. There at that event, we talk about skin concerns, how they occur, what treatments we have in the spa that can help with those, what products they should be using on their skin on a daily basis, and actually let them try them out. By the end of that, you're hoping that the guest goes, oh, they really know what they're talking about, or oh, I have that concern, or that treatment sounds amazing, that cleanser smelled great. And they come and book in for a treatment with you, or they come and buy some retail from you. So in that 1 hour of an event, you've just created a bigger business for yourself than you would have done if you were just sat in your treatment room hoping that someone was going to walk in. So yes, the first couple of times you do those seminars or events, you will be nervous, but we do train you at the academy while you're here with your public speaking, but also your confidence does grow once you actually see, the benefits of doing those on board as well. Also as well on the list, business and sales minded. Again, not something I particularly look for, especially if you have just completed your college course and don't necessarily have a massive experience out there in the industry. But again, this is something we train you throughout the process of training and also working on board the ship. Now the next one, team player. So when I was manager on board, I would always say to my team, your own column is your own business and that is going to be your main focus. But still together as a team, we need to achieve team target. So we need to work together. How are we going to do that? So again, if you're a beauty therapist, you'll have a guest in for a facial, and in that facial, or even a massage, you might do a scalp massage. So you'll ask your guest, would you like oil in your hair or no oil? Now, most guests will go, okay, throw the oil in. My hair's feeling really dry and damaged from all the seawater recently. Okay, great, the oil's going to help, but who in the spa is going to be able to help more with your guest's dry and damaged hair? Hairdressers. Okay, so you'll have basic knowledge about the hair treatments because we do team trainings. You've probably had your hair done quite a few times now on board. So you'll have the confidence to cross promote that guest over to the hairdressers, and it's the hairdresser's job to book them in for a treatment. Same as the hairdressers, nice complimentary eye treatments with every single guest, talking about the skin, and the guest has a few concerns, and again, we can cross promote them back over to the facialist. So that's very much how we work together as a team on board the ships. Also at the bottom there, the minimum age is 18. There's no maximum age. So even if this isn't for you now, it could be for you in the future as well. So the process of joining our team. So I hold job interviews across lots of different places in lots of different countries, and they happen throughout the year. At that job interview is a group interview, and first of all, there will be a presentation very similar to this, just more in depth in information now you're actually applying for the job. You'll then do public speaking in front of the rest of the group, nice and easy, name, qualifications, experience, and why you'd like to join the company. Then we will split off to the different professions. If you're a beauty therapist or a massage therapist, you're going to do a 15-minute back massage on somebody else that's attending the interview. And beauty will then turn that guest over, do a skin consultation, analysis, and a cleanse, tone, and moisturize, and a recommendation of a product. If you're a hairdresser, you will need a male model and you'll have 30 minutes to cut their hair, and a female model with hair just below their shoulders, where you'll do a nice blunt cut and a blow dry, one side nice, smooth and straight, and the other side bouncy and curly with just your brush and your dryer. On board, you can use heated appliances, but for the reason of the interview, we need to see your blow drying technique. If you're a nail technician, you need to bring a model as well, and you need to do one set of acrylics and then a polish of red, and then also a French polish on the other hand, because we do need to see the different variations as well. If you then are successful at the interview, which you will find out on the day, we will then ask you when you're available for training. Now, if you are successful at the interview, I can get you to the next stage of training within 8 weeks of that interview. So if you say, actually, I've just got to finish my college course, and then I've got a holiday booked and my sister's getting married and I just can't miss it, I can actually hold your position up to 8 months after that interview. So we are very flexible with that initial start date. Once you've completed training, we do send you straight out to your cruise ship, and your 9 months starts the day you step on board. Now, every single person we hire from across the world has to attend our training, and this is because the first day you step on board, you will change into your uniform and start working in the spa. So we teach you everything you need to know before you get there. We cover all treatments, products, and knowledge required, and you do get certified in everything that you learn. LMS, Litherapy, Kerastase, Keratin, all of the different brands, etc. that we go over. Also, you'll be trained in customer care, consultations, and prescriptions. So on board, you don't only earn your commissions from the services you provide, but also the retail you sell. So basically, we want to sell as many products as possible, but the one thing we don't want to do is have pushy sales. And by that, I mean not really talk to your guests throughout the whole treatment, and at the end come in with all the products and go, yeah, you need to buy all these because your hair or your skin is just never going to look the same. Okay, it's uncomfortable for your guest, uncomfortable for you, and I can guarantee that that guest is not going to walk away with anything. So we follow the 5 steps. Step 1, consultation, find out the guest's true concerns. 2, education, educate the guest why they've got these concerns, how we're going to help them today, so what's going to be the best treatment for them, how we're going to help them in the future, aftercare. 3, excellent service, ensure your guest has enjoyed their treatment, their skin's glowing, their nails look great, their hair's bouncy and curly and shiny, and also that you've built up that rapport and trust with your guest. 4, recommendation, you've already planted the seed in step 1 and step 2, and then close the sale. And with those 5 steps, your guest feels more comfortable, they understand why you're recommending those products, but you're also recommending the right products for them because you've actually taken the time to find out their concerns, wants, and needs as well. Also, the Academy is nice. You are living, working, and socializing with the other people at the Academy, so it does already give you that sense of working and living on board as well. When you're at the Academy, it is based in North London, so we do provide you with free dinner and free accommodation. And we do fly you from London, so Gatwick or Heathrow Airport, out to wherever your cruise ship is at the time that you need to catch it. So a typical day on board. So a typical day starts at 7:30 in the morning, and this starts with a meeting with your manager. They'll let you know the expectations of the day. And then at 8 o'clock, your first guest will start. You'll then have a 1-hour lunch, a 1-hour dinner, and your last guest will finish at 9 o'clock. And 9 to 9:30, you have that time to tidy your treatment room and get yourself ready for the next day. I do like to point out that due to the maritime law that came out about 7 years ago, these are the maximum working hours that you can do, and you will always have 10 hours rest from the time that you finish work to the time that you start work the next day. With your time off, there's a minimum allocation of a day and a half off per 7 days, and this time off will be mainly given to you in your port time. Okay, so this means that you can get off the ship in all of those different destinations and explore them. Some of the things that I've done in my time off: I've skydived in Honolulu, I've rode elephants in Phuket, I've swum in the Great Barrier Reef, I've been in a helicopter over the Great Barrier Reef, been in a helicopter over the glaciers in Alaska and landed on the glaciers, swam with the stingrays and the sharks in Moorea, rode horses through the waterfalls in Mexico. I have a long, long list of different things I've done. Some days you will be doing things that you never thought you'd imagine that you'd do, and other days you'll be sitting on a nice Caribbean beach somewhere. Okay, so again, it's really nice that you get to go and explore those places while working out there on the ships. With your life on board, as I've mentioned already, your accommodation and your meals are provided for you on board the ship for your contract. Your accommodation is shared with one of the persons of the same sex, usually somebody from the spa, and you do really live, work, socialise with the spa team and crew as well. Now, on board, there are certain privileges that you have, and there is a slight hierarchy depending on the job that you have on board. So some people on board are classed as crew, and crew can only go into guest area when they are working. Spa, we're classed as staff, so we can actually finish work at the end of the day, go and put a nice outfit on and go into guest area and watch the singers, the dancers, the entertainers. We can go to the specialty restaurants, the bars, the nightclub, go and enjoy the activities. The guests can enjoy that lifestyle. But also on the flip side, you've got crew area where everyone really socialises in the evening within the different departments as well. So it is a really nice sociable place to be. It does slightly vary from cruise line to cruise line, but especially for that first contract, obviously you'll just learn exactly what's going on there. And also Wi-Fi is accessible on board at a low cost for the crew. It is a lot easier to stay in touch with people these days than it was when I started 7 years ago. It's 8 years ago with my nice BlackBerry Curve that didn't even have Facebook. But now you've got WhatsApp, Skype, FaceTime, Instagram, so it is a lot easier to stay in touch while you are away. So how much can you actually earn while out on the ships? And as it says on the board, the sky is the limit. And if every single one of you went out there to work on board a cruise ship, you would all come home with a different amount of money. So if I bring your attention to the top two squares, you've got your massage and beauty therapist, and then also your hair and nails commission structure. It does vary slightly depending on the cruise line you're on, but these are the lowest commission structures that we do. So massage, beauty, you've got your service commission, retail commission, and your auto gratuity. Just to refresh you on the word, auto gratuity means automatic tip. So if we were all to go out for dinner and our food and our drink came to £100, my bill's going to automatically be £115, because 15% of 100, 15, is added on top and go to the person who served us the food, exactly as it is for the guests on board the ship when we're providing the treatment. So just to give you a quick example, if I'm out there and I'm going to do a mid-price point treatment of a Litherapy D Excellence facial, it would cost my guests $199. Now we'll add an extra dollar on just to make maths a little bit easier for us. So my treatment's $200. My guest is now going to be paying $230 because 15% of 230 was added on top, and it's now my tip. Then I've got my service commission. So altogether from just providing that service, I've just earned $34. Now I want to ensure that I'm going to make my retail commission, so 9%. So I've done my 5-step solution styles I talked to you about earlier, and my guest has some concerns with their skin, but doesn't really use much on there at the moment, just a little bit of moisturizer when it's feeling dry. So I've educated her and I've recommended to her, and I've said that we need to ensure that we're continuing the results that we've made today with her skin. So we're going to start with a small starter pack, cleanser, toner, moisturizer, and an exfoliator for once a week. On board for facials, we have Elemis and Litherapy products. Litherapy a little bit more expensive than Elemis, but a Pro Collagen Marine Cream, a daily moisturizer from Elemis, that can cost $110 on board. So for a small starter pack, you're looking at anything from $250 to $300. say it's a $300 package, that's $26, you're 9% of that. So $26 plus your $34 from earlier, you've just made $60 from that one guest. Also, you're mainly working with American guests, so it's not unlikely that your guest might turn around and give you an extra $10, $20, $50, $100 cash tip. If you've done step 3, excellent service, all your tips and all your commissions are for you to keep. Now, you might have noticed that there isn't a basic wage, but there is a minimum monthly compensation of $800. So that just means if your service commission, retail commission, and auto gratuity in a month do not add up to $800, the company will top your money up. So maybe you were sick, maybe the reason why you couldn't make that $800, sorry, and say those 3 things add up to $600 in a month, the company will go, here's your $600 plus an extra $200 to make the $800. If those 3 things make $3,000 in a month, the company will go, there's your $3,000. So you have to very much look at that as a security safety blanket for yourself, because potentially anybody can go onto cruise ships and be making more than $800 a week on board the ship, okay? But also you need to ensure that you're self-motivated and that you understand you should be upgrading your services, retailing to your guests and providing that excellent service as well. And that's really how the potential of that sky's the limit amount of money you can be earning. So just to finish off with some employee benefits, it is a free flight to the ship for your first contract. We do fly you back home to your nearest international airport once you've completed your 9 months. Your C1D visa, this is the visa that allows you to transit through the US as a crew member, but we do reimburse you this money once you are on your ship. Also, I do like to point out here as well that if you are on the ship and you are unwell, there are doctors and nurses there to see, and you can see them and get the medication for free. Also, if there are any medical emergencies, we do get you home in those circumstances. Or if there is a medical emergency with an immediate family member back home, we do also assist you to get home in those circumstances also as soon as possible. And I think I've been pretty clear on the fact that you can save money. I personally went out to ships to travel the world, and I kept coming back for the career progression and the money side of things. And if you're looking to have a challenge, travel, get the experience, you've got the money with it. Or whether you're looking to go and save some money, you've got the travel, the challenge and experience as well. So it is really however you want to combine the 2 together. I appreciate that this job isn't for everybody, but I still hope that I've inspired you that there's many opportunities out there. Or hopefully I have inspired you and made you think that this is what you would like to do once you've completed your college course, sorry. And if so, this is my information. So if you would like to note that down, you've got my email address, my work number, and also I am on Instagram and Facebook, which is Cruise with Kate, if you want to drop that a follow. That has pictures of all the people that I've recently hired, and I do just kind of stalk them on Instagram and repost their pictures. But I think it's really nice to see what people are actually out there doing now on their ships, on their time off, where they are. And then you've also got the main website there at the bottom. This is where you can find out where our interview dates and locations are, and also fill out the application form. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions you might have after seeing this presentation or in the future when it does come to the interview stage. Thank you.